Welcome back to Teshkid FX for another price prediction update, and in this video I'll be giving you a price prediction update on Fantom, whose current price stands at the $0.2496 mark, and here on TradingView the market is up by 0.04%. And in this video I want to give you the short-term and the long-term scenarios that I'm expecting to play out, basing my analysis on the EBOOK structures, the Fibonacci's, and also the key areas of support and resistances. And allow me to kickstart the video here on the daily chart by giving you a brief of what has been happening here on the Fantom chart. So Fantom, from these low prices that we had been trading within, we saw a very nice bounce to the upper side, making it to an all-time high at around the $3.5 mark, in a movement that I'm terming as a higher Elliot wave count 1 to the upside. And after seeing the all-time high, we had been seeing lower prices in this massive ABC corrective structure, which is right here, which has now taken us back to around the $0.16 mark, in a movement that I'm terming as a higher Elliot wave count 2. And after seeing the low for that higher Elliot wave count 2, whatever we expect next is a bounce to the upside in the formation of a higher Elliot wave count 3 before we see a wave 4, and then continue pushing even higher in the formation of that wave 5. And getting a little bit into the details of the formation of this Elliot wave structure and give you a measure from the all-time high, you can see that Fantom is down more than 94%, and that means there are chances that we might have seen the low for that wave 2, and there are chances that very soon we are going to see that bounce to the upper side in the formation of this wave 3, and sketching out a minimum target area to the upside in the formation of that wave 3 by connecting the Fibonacci's from the low of the first wave to the high of that wave 1, then dragging the fibs to the low of the second wave. That gives me a minimum target area to the upper side in the formation of that wave 3 at the fib level 1.618, which perfectly lies at around the $5.76 mark, and that is the minimum that I would expect that wave 3 to the upside to do before we see a wave 4 and then continue pushing even higher in the formation of that wave 5. And that is my long-term scenario that I'm expecting to play out, and that doesn't mean there's no chance of making a new low here on the Fantom chart. There's still room for us to make a new low in the formation of this higher Elliot wave count 2, and we also need to be prepared for such a scenario. And jumping to the 1 hour chart for further analysis and also give you the short-term scenarios that I'm expecting to play out here on the 1 hour chart. Here on the 1 hour chart, you can see after making our low at around the $0.016 mark, we have been seeing a very nice bounce to the upper side in a movement that has been obeying the Elliot wave structures, where we can have these as a first wave to the upside. Then we saw this ABC corrective structure right here in the formation of a second wave, then saw another bounce in the formation of that wave 3, and I'm expecting a bit of a retracement to the low side in the formation of that wave 4 before we continue pushing even higher in the formation of that wave 5 to complete a higher Elliot wave count 1 to the upside. And getting a little bit into the details of the formation of this Elliot wave structure and sketch out a minimum target area to the upside in the formation of this wave 3 using a trend based Fibonacci, connecting it from the low of the first wave to the high of that wave 1, then dragging the fibs to the low of the second wave. That gives me a minimum target area to the upside in the formation of this wave 3 at the fib level 1.618, which perfectly lies at around the $0.228 mark, which is a target area that we fully maximized and even pushed even higher, making it to the fib level 2.618, and that is where we made our high for that wave 3, and that means we have an extended wave 3 to the upside. And after seeing the formation of that wave 3, whatever I expect next is a bit of a retracement to the lower side in the formation of this wave 4, and using the Fibonacci's, connecting them from the low of the second wave to the high of that wave 3, that gives me a minimum target area to the lower side in the formation of this wave 4 between the fib level 0.5 and the fib level 0.618, which I can mark here on the charts, which perfectly lies between the $0.22 mark and the $0.2 mark, and that is the minimum that I'm expecting this retracement to the lower side to fully maximize the formation of that wave 4 before we see an impulsive movement to the upside in the formation of that wave 5. And to support that movement to the lower side in the formation of this wave 4, we also saw a chart pattern that was in formation, which is right here, which is a triple top, and this is a chart pattern that normally breaks to the lower side, having the target area of the breakout as the height between the tops and the neckline. And I got that height and placed it below the neckline, giving me a minimum target area back to around the $0.21 mark, which perfectly lies within this target area that I have sketched out using the Fibonacci's, and that is the minimum that I'm expecting that breakout to the lower side to do. And once it happens, we can fully maximize the formation of that wave 4, then expect a bounce to the upside in the formation of that wave 5. And there are chances of also invalidating this Elliot wave structure in case this movement that we have right here continues to be impulsive and continues to push even higher, and in case that happens and we manage to break above the wave 3 high, that is at around the $0.26 mark, then I'll have a different wave count over here, and I'll be terming this impulsive movement to the upside as a higher Elliot wave count 1. So if I change the scenarios, this is the most likely scenario that I'll have over here, having that as the first wave. Then this movement over here is the formation of a second wave, then I'll be expecting a wave 3, then a wave 4, and then continue pushing even higher in the formation of that wave 5, and using the Fibonacci's to get to see whether this is a valid wave 2 in case it plays out, connecting the Fibonacci's from the low down there to that high. You can see we retraced back to the fib level 0.382, and that's the reason as to why we are seeing a bit of a reaction to the upper side, and there are chances that we might have started that impulsive movement to the upside in the formation of this wave 3, and sketching out a minimum target area to the upside in the formation of this wave 3 in case it plays out. And I can change the color of the Elliot wave structure so that it can be seen better, and sketch out a minimum target area using a trend based Fibonacci, connecting it from the low of the first wave to the high of that wave 1, then dragging the fibs to the low of the second wave, and that gives me a minimum target area back to the fib level 1.618, and that is at around the $0.38 mark, and that is the minimum that I would expect Fantom to do in case it continues to obey the Elliot wave structures and also manage to break above the wave 3 high and also show some impulsive nature. And also taking a look at the indicators here on the RSI, we are trading at around the 59 mark, meaning we have massive room for us to support any movements to the upper side before we get into the overbought region, and massive room for us to support any movements to the lower side. Also taking a look at the MACD, here on the MACD you can see we have printed a bearish cross, and that would mean no prices are coming our way. So let's be patient and see how that plays out, and I'll keep you updated.